Welcome to Momentous Doge, Episode 12, Against the Grain, where we play Guild Ball on hard mode. Not. We're playing Thresher again this week. Welcome to Momentous Doge, Episode 12, Against the Grain, where we make bad decisions over and over again. Much better. Okay, so this week we're playing a game against Dave again. Here's some plot cards that you might remember. If you pause it, we will probably forget, because we're like that. So this week, Dave is playing Pinvice, and I am playing Thresher again. I just brought Thresher to this table, and then decided that I would much rather not be playing Thresher. But here we go. Such is life. So, I have lost the roll, and Dave has chuckled a bit, saying, you can receive. Funny that. So yeah, Pinvice. I have to spread out yet again. Just not loving it. Not loving it. So here we go. Pinvice kicking that box looks pretty sweet there, eh? That's a pretty decent thing for Pinvice. I'm gonna put chicken up top and Harrow down the bottom, and we're just gonna hope. Yeah. I think this isn't too bad. Once again, receiving Thresher, not really an optimal first turn, but you know. You get what you get. So here Dave goes for what I thought was a bit of a conservative kick. Kicking in the general direction of Thresher and Millstone here-ish. And getting the scatter towards Millstone. I'm not entirely sure this is a... not entirely sure this is great for Dave. To be honest, seems pretty average. Here I'm measuring Pinvice's run around the box, take the ball and score threat, and starting to not feel great about life. Harrow is definitely looking a bit stranded down the bottom there. Allocating my influence is quite important this turn, I think. We're going to need to do a few kicks, probably, and we'll be a bit stretched. So we've measured out a Tater takes the ball and kicks it. Stashes on the chicken. Defense 5, out of range of Pinvice. Feeling pretty good about that. I don't think that kick was too great for Dave. Tater was fairly comfortably in there, so I might have re-rolled that if he could. But, you know, could have gone worse. So here, we're going for a tool up on Pinvice, which I'm not thrilled about. He's obviously sort of maybe thinking about a race and punch Thresher plan. That's not the worst idea in the world, I don't think. So here, I've gone for tool up and harvest marker. Just want to get that out of the way in case Dave does go mental and pull the chain and just kill Harrow. I don't think that would have been a terrible idea here. Sort of trade Thresher, trade your captain for Harrow. I mean, probably going to get to kill Pinvice anyway, even on the box. So yeah, we got the Millstone push for a Colossus run. This is a bit of early jockeying, but it feels like Dave is giving up too much of his early turn advantage here. The ball is out of reach, but I might have made a Pinvice play before that. He's had to take what feels like a suboptimal move here, going into Tater. Def 5, rough. Yeah, I'm not really... I don't want to say I'm not thrilled about it, but it seems pretty average. So here we're dropping the ball with the chicken, engaging Pinvice. Yeah. Bit mopey, really. For the first time ever, possibly ever on this channel, Dave is down on clock. What do you think about that, guys? Yeah, you're right, that's not going to last. Of course it's not going to last. Let's not be silly. So, we're doing the usual Thresher turn 1 here, where we sort of go deep, set up everything, and then wait, and sort of look for what Thresher wants to do. He ends up with an activation at the end, because I received, which is not great. I don't think that's where Thresher wants to be, but sometimes you don't really have any choice. You Just got to take what you're given. Here, the Threshpocalypse goes in on Pinvice, starts rolling dice. Them Def 5. Well, Def 5 is a high variance stat line, boys. Often quite underrated, I think, that Def 5, especially when you reanimate at the end, so you can't even just make it 4s and stick 4s until they're dead, which is a bit awkward. Thresh going deep into his swings here, and I'm not feeling super thrilled, to be honest. We take her off the table, but we have to Harvest Marker for that, and we have to hit Tater. So, even more damage on Tater. As we know, Immortal Tater will live through everything. So, I've man-markinged here, and next turn is going to be so sweet. Do my favourite thing of Field Tater with free influence. I like it, my influence first. Thresher is quite far forward here, but most of the punching strength has been taken out of the Engineers team, so I'm not feeling too sad about it. Pinvice came on the bottom of the board here, which I feel is quite good. Nice far away from Thresher, just standing next to Millstone and Harrow, and I don't think that's going to be the end of the world this turn. My first activation here, not something I'm super confident about, and I think I'm just going to drown a bit in the tank. I don't like going early in the turn with Thresher to start killing someone. It feels like you're not making the best use of everything that you could be getting. You're not really getting anything out of that. If you stack some buffs on Thresher, you can get a bit of a better return. But there's no way that Thresher is killing anyone here, so I'm sort of going to squat on it, move Jackstraw and the ball back a bit. Here, Hoist is going to try some jank and burrow through, but I've placed my Harvest Marker pretty well, and he's not going to be able to make it with the run, and he's going to therefore be unable to dodge through to Jackstraw. They're saved by Harvest Markers, who'd have thought. That is gonna be quite annoying for Dave here. He can dodge to the side and get out of Millstone there, but still not great for him. It is Hoist, so I don't feel too bad if I'm Dave about having Hoist buried in my team. I actually kind of have to try and kill Hoist here because I don't want to kick the ball away into the scoring Engineers team. It's a bit of a dumb move. All his guys are nice and far back, as is, so sort of killing the ball by booting it isn't really a plan. I don't have enough space to get it away from his two flanking strikers. And you're going to see those two flanking strikers become increasingly relevant next turn. So, what I do is I scrum up and try to murder Hoist. In the meantime, we've got an alternated, everything tooled up fucking the worlded Colossus coming in here and deleting Harrow. It's not the end of the world because we've already tooled up Tater, I believe, so all we're losing is the healing aura, which, given the amount of damage I'm about to do to my team and have done in the last turn, it could be better. Here we go for Thresher on Hoist, derp some damage, and I believe we Reaper at the end of the activation, just to put some damage on Colossus, because we may as well. I think we proc Reanimate in this activation, so this is sort of where I'm... Where Thresher can get sort of forced into activating and not being great. He's fine here, but these tough hide guys with asshole defensive stats and sort of inaccessible stat lines for Thresher. Hitting Hoist, 4 1s, I can't like, I can't get my momentum, break his sturdy, and do work. And only having 5 influence on Thresher, it's just not great. I had the opportunity to break the sturdy on a free strike earlier and didn't take it. Hindsight looks like a mistake. I thought I would need the damage because I wouldn't be able to get all my dudes on hoist, that he would eject from this somehow. Turns out no. So Tater will go. Tater will bash his face into hoist a few times and kill him. Then charge at Colossus. Get a pretty decent roll. That seems fine. Thanks, Colossus. He'll do a bunch of damage. Down some for Typhoid, and then he will swing again and be sweet. Not killing Colossus, though. So we're quite deep in the turn here. And this bit where I've committed to Colossus but not killed him is going to be a bit of an asshole for me next turn. I've got a pile of momentum, which I'll be shit and forget to use. Some things never change. And then I'll realise my problem next turn. So here I have the ball nice and safe, air quotes, on Jackstraw. But Jackstraw's being threatened handily by Velocity, Pinvice, and Colossus. And I can only really stop one of these with my first activation. So I'm just going to have to make the best of it. Here, I'm going to be forced into going early with Thresher. I go and put Harrow on that side because I feel like Dave will go with the Velocity goes in instead of the Pinvice goes in. And I'm hoping for some sort of 2-inch melee causes him to miss the goal. You know, play your outs. Here we're on 4-0. 4-2, sorry. So it's not the end of the world if we let that goal happen, but we definitely do not want it to be like a free one. So here we kill Colossus with Thresher first activation, charge into Velocity, do some derps. Believe we knock it out. And then we just position so that she will have to take a free strike when she goes past, more or less. Dave sort of maps it out, and he's, you know, cool, I'll just take the free strike, no problems. I missed the knockdown on the free strike, which is nice. If we'd hit that, that would be, I feel like game over. Dave would be too far behind, but, you know, Def 5, that's not unheard of. So, Velocity goes in, we counter. Blurp, 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 blurp. We end up with Velocity in here, engaged. That's nice. He does sink the goal though, so that, you know, could be worse. Could be worse. You'll notice looking up there though that I am now on 14 minutes. This game is not looking good, guys. Guys, this is not looking good. So, we're on 6 now. Colossus is dead. Velocity has run the length back into the boondocks. And I really need to make a decision on how this game's going to end. At this point here, I don't think 14 minutes playing into Engineers is enough time to get 3 takeouts. So I am going to commit hard to that Velocity takeout and score a goal. I've kicked the ball out and chicken licking. Sadly, what I haven't thought of at this point is that when I kill Velocity, Velocity will come back on the table. Dave's been quite smart here and run the length back instead of forward. So that Thresher won't be able back in terms of me. So that Thresher won't be able to kill Velocity, run, and score in the same activation. So everyone dogpiles in. They fire, like, eventually they will get to velocity. There's a lot of dice going on, some shit happening. In the midst of this, down in the bottom here, Tater is having a side-eye crack at Pinvice. There was a a short moment in time where I thought Tater might be able to just roll his way out of Pinvice, get the charge, and then just, I don't know, maybe spike a swing, kill Pinvice, and put me back in the game for 3 takeouts. This is a mistake. I should not have committed to this. I should have just ran Tater back and used him as a countercharge screen. Here, playing to this alternative plan at the same time, while it does sort of diversify my investment, so Dave can't shut me down as easily, it does does open me up to some awkward shit happening. At the moment, if Dave happens to sneak the ball back, I am not instantly screwed. If the dream team here of Ratchet, Colossus, and Pinvice manages to kill Tater, I am 100% fucked. So, we spend yet more time that I do not have, now down 20 minutes, pushing dudes off Tater, and then running away to blank Colossus's influence. Thankfully, this is about the last action Tater will see, because he's quite low at this point. He's been doing some healing. He did the picking up the harvest marker for the health earlier. I'm not sure if he got double healed one turn, but yeah, here has some mileage. So here I've set up my triangle of harvest markers so that I can put Thresher in the middle of it, and he will always have a poised. Mostly irrelevant. It's just a bit of hedging so that when I put Thresher up there to take the goal next turn, he is a bit safer. So Pinvice has gone chasing Tater, Def 5 slapping Def 5s and healing, when neither of them are going to hit their sort of high damage results. Isn't really going to produce a result here, I don't think. Colossus has gone back here, but he didn't go far enough in to block the goal, which is sort of a bummer. Such is life. So we're doing some dumb passing stuff. Here we're kicking the ball back, trying to keep it a bit safe from the velocity coming back on next turn. I'm not entirely sure that was correct. But if you'll notice, there are not a hell of a lot of early Thresher activation good plays here. And I also don't want to be too exposed to Dave going first here, jumping hoist out and running to steal the ball. We go and we're sort of sandbagging dumb activations here, like tooling up Thresher and shit. That's just dumb. I don't have opportunities to really make momentum, though. So here we're going to see a millstone pass to Thresher. If this doesn't connect, I'm uber fucked. Thankfully it will. We're sort of just running for that clock at this point. I've got more activations than I normally would have, I suppose. Dave's only on 6. He'll go to 7 after Millstone. Could be worse, I suppose. I've stupidly spent the home crowd momentum on a stance for Tater, going to 5s against Ratchet, and he's just wrapped me anyway, because variance is a thing. Here you've seen magnificent play from Dave, with the mother runs in to block my jackstraw, block my Thresher by hemming him in with Jackstraw. That's a great play, but unfortunately I was able to hit Mother, KD dodge, and run around to score anyway. So massive props to Dave, great game,